I think everyone is sick of hearing the word value. It's the buzzword of the season right now. However, there are ways that you can provide value to your agents, and your agents can provide that to buyers and sellers. And Amy Stockberger, she is the broker owner of Amy Stockberger Real Estate in Sioux City, South Dakota. She runs Teamerage, and she has some phenomenal programs that she put together that offer lifetime support to the buyers and sellers that they work. And she has several different levels, and she's going to share them all on this podcast. Listen to the end because she's got some really great ideas that I think other brokers and team leaders can take and use to boost the value of their business. Amy, welcome to the RealTrending podcast.
Thanks for having me, and I'm honored to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I really want to just start out by having you tell the audience a little bit about yourself and when and why you got into real estate and formed your brokerage.
Okay, well, Amy Stockberger, like I said, I actually got into the business right out of college. My dad owned a Coldwell Banker brokerage at the time, and he had the exact opposite of nepotism policy. And so he put me in a dark office in the back of the building, paid me $24,000 a year, had me work as an administrative supportive staff, and I fell in love. I did that for 2 years, and then I got licensed, and he did the next best thing for me. And he said, don't do it. It's too hard. It's cutthroat. It's expensive, has a huge failure rate, which was what I needed. And so I got licensed and was a buyer's agent for a hot second and decided that wasn't for me. So I was a single agent for a hot second. Had my sister come join me almost immediately, started a team with her and a part-time assistant. And then we started growing, really grinding. And my husband joined the business in 2009. And we have been growing the team since then. We became a brokerage in 2019. We actually run as a Teamerage and we found a hole in our business, which we'll talk about. I found that in 2014. So I created a model that took care of this major hole that I found. And since then, we've been the highest producing team in our state and have been lucky enough to keep on growing and serving in the Sioux Falls area. We're one of the top 50 in the nation with only about 20 some agents. And we do about 10% of the market share each year.
That's wonderful. And you've mentioned that you do have some agents in Florida as well, correct?
Oh, no, we just have a place in Florida. Yeah, but
okay.
I have my licensing. Yeah, I have licensees in Florida. Yeah. Yep.
Okay,
yep.
Great.
Yep.
So you built this model and you call it the lifetime home support model, which I think is extremely appropriate at this venture in real estate because it's all about value, right? I mean, that word has come up in every conversation that I've had with people once the settlement, kind of happened. So tell me a little bit about your lifetime home support model and kind of how it transformed your approach to real estate.
So back in 2014, I noticed a major hole in our business and we were scaling. We were doing well. We were a small team, but for the amount of clients we were serving who were saying they were so happy with our before and during part of our care for them, we weren't getting that repeat and referral business. I just thought we should. And we certainly were not keeping clients for life. And it drove me nuts. I couldn't figure out why were we not staying top of mind? What could I do to authentically help their wants, needs, and desires so that I would be top of mind? And this could be not a past client, but a lifetime client for us and provide that immense value. And I just could not figure it out. I went down the rabbit hole, was looking for something to copy and paste to put into my, a blueprint. We're always looking for blueprints, right? Mm-hmm. To put into our business. And I just couldn't find anything. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to create one. So I created, it's our serve, sell approach, which became our lifetime home support model, where we created a system and strategy for every step of the home buying and selling process before, during, and forever, which allowed us to build these relationships that by the law of reciprocity, our clients not only kept coming back to us, but were referring us to all their friends. And it's just for me, a way for me to help build big, juicy legacies. That's like my vision. I want to build big, juicy legacies for everybody in my ecosystem. It was a way for me to be able to do that, not only for my clients, but for my agents, my team, my admin staff, and for our community.
So let's go into detail about that. What are some of the key tenets of your serve, 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 sell model?
Well, the first one is we added a moving truck. It's not revolutionary, but I
Mm-hmm.
thought, okay, what could we do that could provide value? We know what the pain point is. They're moving. The jig's up. They're moving. That's part of the deal, right? And so it's like, okay, I want to get a moving truck that they could use for life for free. But I also, at that same time, was really focused on turning cost centers into profit centers,
Mm-hmm.
using what I call now the steal from Amazon method, where you are having other people pay your expenses and then profit again on top of that. And so we did that. We sold ad space on the back of it. Our vendors paid for them. We became, cash flowed on them. Our clients could use them for life. And so that was the first thing we did. The second thing we did was our party and tool shed. And that was just something, again, knowing that we're here to help our clients through really big parts of their life, good and bad sometimes. But then they have all these other parts of their human existence that I wanted to be a part of. So I thought, why not give them access to all these tools, all this party equipment. So think of all the home ownership journey stages there are and how many things they're going to need for that. So I got ladders, wheelbarrows, commercial grade carpet cleaners, everything that they would likely need. They could come check out for free for life. And then same with party supplies. Think of all the things that happen in their life, good and bad, birthday parties, funerals, all those things. So we got commercial grade food warmers, tables, chairs, bouncy houses, cotton candy, snow cone, popcorn machines that my clients could come get from me after the transaction. So I was providing service to them outside of just that real estate need to stay top of mind and make sure that I was helping them in everything they needed. And then I branded the heck out of it too. So it wasn't just I was giving it to them, but every piece of equipment has my brand all over it. So when they're throwing these big parties, I'm the obvious name that's coming out of their mouths, which then how the law of reciprocity works, right? Like you give somebody something, they feel obligated to effect to give back, and they do that in the form of repeat and referral business.
I absolutely love that. I've heard variations of this, but never bounce houses and party supplies. Gosh, I could use that. I'm throwing a shower here in November, and I'm like, oh, I need tables, I need chairs, I need,
Right?
I mean, that is such a great idea, and I feel like it really builds community as well.
Oh, big
You
time.
know,
And think about this too, like you spoke of this value. The reason we're in this situation, one of the reasons we're in the situation we're in our beautiful industry, is that perceived lack of value, right?
Mhm.
That consumers weren't feeling that, and that's what it does because agents they don't mean to lose touch with their clients. They just run out of authentic ways to stay connected. And so this was me giving my agents and myself a way to stay connected to our clients through all the good and bad times in their life where we could be of authentic value to them.
And how do you hold agents accountable? I mean, obviously, this doesn't seem like it'd be a difficult sell for an agent to offer.
Mm-mm.
I guess, how do you hold them accountable with that? But the other thing is how do you encourage your, buyers and sellers or past buyers and sellers or contacts to actually use the services that you're offering?
Well, I have a PhD in failing forward. So I did it wrong a whole bunch of times before I figured out how to stop doing it the wrong way. And then one of my superpowers is systems. Once I figure out how to do something right, then I systemize it and we have playbooks that run by it. But we made it's a very omnipresent. So from the very first contact with any
Mm-hmm.
buyer, onboarding, selling, they get the information. So they know it's in our hook information to our marketing information. So like we go meet a buyer for a first showing that we haven't met, it's one of the first things we're going over. Like on top of, has anybody showed you how the buying process works or what's new in the industry? We go through that. And let me show you how we do things very differently with our lifetime home support model. We have a system and strategy for every step of the process before, during, and forever. And then we just walk them through the unique value propositions that meet where they're at in their human experience. We have all these different things, but the VIP one is just really easy because with all of my programs, our clients can save $20,000 in the first year and the support and savings continue for life. And then the buy-in with the agents is that we train on that. I mean, those are the talk tracks. Those are the calls they're having during their hour of power is, hey, did you hear we just added this to the VIP program? We just got a new margarita machine. We just added this new bouncy house. We just had this person join our home support team. So it's just, again, coming to these conversations instead of, commission breath of, hey, do you want to buy or sell a house? Or, Do you know of anybody who wants to buy or sell it? The things that are the same old that just are ineffective and don't work.
So once you explain that to them, then the home closes. Let's say,
Yep.
buyer or seller, the home closes. So then you reinforce that, I assume, through marketing
Yep.
pieces, or
Yep.
encourage agents to continue to contact them with suggestions, or tell me how that works.
Yep. So it's in all of our marketing pieces. So their action plans, their nurture sequences after. So it lives in that, but we understand that they're humans and they have a million things coming at them all the time, right? So we also have we created software that is serving to our clients, because when you think about the normal life cycle of your buyer or seller with the websites agents create, those buyers and sellers are on those websites before and during parts of the transaction. They're vetting you, then they're looking at houses that are comparable to theirs, or looking at houses they want to buy, but they're not coming back to those sites afterwards. So I created software that they would go to check out these items. And we keep that software in them. It's a password protected. Keep the item, they can come and check them out on their leisure, which is what, whenever they want to see what that is. So, and it's branded to us, I should say. So they're coming back to this site that's all branded to us in a place where we're not selling at all. We're just giving. And it's brand awareness for my agents right at the top. They can review and refer their agent easily. We can track, how the equipment's coming in and out. And it's a big piece of difference for us compared to anybody else, because they have all these perks that they get simply by buying or selling one time.
And you built that software, or
I did.
are you
Yep.
using? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And then the key, because that was what I was finding is, and just me being in the business, this is my 24th year in the business. And I started, when I found the hole in my business was I'd already been in it for about 10 years, 2014. And when I found this major hole, and I found as we started growing this, I'm like, well, how can I help my agents turn one client into 5 clients and stay connected in an authentic way? And so we set up the software so that when a piece of equipment is checked out, my agents automatically get a notification that's being checked out. So it gives them that authentic connection point. Like, hey, so you got a bouncy house. I see Sarah's having a birthday party. How's everybody doing? Who do you know that has a life change coming up? Would love to offer up our lifetime home support services. So they're authentically staying connected with them, which just breeds repeat business.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it really is about authenticity. I've often talked on the podcast with people. I have been writing about real estate for a very long time. Worked at an association, and also at RealTrends for a very long time, and now HousingWire. And so I've interviewed a lot of agents in my area that I would think they would put me on their lists, that I would be someone they would market to. I don't. None of them do. There's one that does, and she's very consistent about it, and we've built a friendship. But no one else has, and it surprises me. And I think the way you're doing it gives agents. I think agents have struggle with that, right? It's like, I can't call them again and ask them if they've got anybody to refer to me. I can't ask them. They forget that they don't have to ask that question. It's really just about building the relationship, and this gives them a really easy way to do that.
Agreed, and it was 100%. That's the issue, is that. And that's what I found when I went on that hole looking for a blueprint to copy and paste. All I found, for the most part at that time, were ways to add more cold leads into my business model, how to bolster my ISA department to convert the cold leads. And I just wasn't finding anything on how to nurture, besides maybe doing random pop buys, but that's not enough. We can't do every quarter and expect our clients to be like, oh, I'll never forget Amy Stockberger's name because once a quarter she does something for me. That's not how our brains work, right? And so the biggest thing I found, and I didn't know a lot back in 2014, but is that our sphere is always going to be our biggest lead source. And so an agent should always be leveraging their biggest sphere and trying to look for ways to grow that sphere, because we're super connectors in everything we do, right? That's who we are. That's our job. We're super connectors. We connect buyers and sellers, but then we connect our clients with everything else they need in their home ownership journey and their human experience journey, because we are the trusted resource for all those referrals. And what an honor. So I was, and thinking back on it, I'm like, I was really hurting my clients by doing business the same old, by, doing the same thing everybody else was doing. and not actually providing a way for me to grow my sphere to help them with all their needs, wants, and desires. And that's how I added that next level to my lifetime home support model, which is my vendor program, because we are super connectors. They were always coming to us. Who do I use for HVAC? Who do I use for window cleaning? Who do I use for a doctor? Who do I use for a spa place? And so I thought, gosh, how could I grow my sphere in an authentic way that was helping my clients for life, because they need these products and services. They're telling me they need these things. And also help these businesses, because everybody's trying to find a different way to sell their products and services, right? And so I created a vendor program that, again, I failed forward over and over and over again. I mean, I just on repeat, we failed forward. And then I finally figured it out. And so I put together this vendor program. I call it our home support team program. And it's best local companies who give our clients legendary care like we do, oftentimes preferential pricing. They do preferential treatment, and they pay us $3,500 a year to be a part of our program. And we have about 100 partners on there. And so they are providing my clients with a major part of my vision, which is taking care of all their needs before, during, and after. We monetized it, but we also use it as major lead generation, because to be a part of my program, these companies have to allow us into their employees, where we get to go in and say, hey, this is how we do things very differently with our lifetime home support model. And because we have all these pillars, I bundled them up into an employee benefit package. And so we offer them to them, providing the employees service too, of like taking care of their wants, needs, and desires. And typically every appointment we're in, we have 1 to 2 that raise their hand that they themselves are in a life change, or they know of somebody in a life change, and that we can be of service to. And then they go into a nurture sequence. And it's just another way of growing our sphere in an authentic way, coming from the pure service as our real driving for them. Like, we know we can help them. And it's been just a really big lead gen for us, and a beautiful one, a fun one.
Yeah. And I think, teamerages are more profitable than a brokerage, or like a traditional brokerage for sure, just by the setup. But I think there's a lot of compression right now, margin compression, commission compression, and looking for multiple revenue streams is really important for real estate leaders to do. And we had sent a couple emails back and forth, and one of the things that you did talk about is kind of building those multiple revenue streams within your business. The vendor one is one of them. Obviously, you're getting a return on your investment for the money that you're spending on the, bounce houses and party supplies and that.
Oh, yeah.
What are some other ways that you are kind of generating revenue through maybe some more non-traditional means?
Well, we steal from the Amazon model. So like client events, this is nothing revolutionary, but we sponsorship it all out. So those are profit centers for us as well. And it provides an opportunity for our vendors to come in and be in front of our market, their target market, which is our audience. And so we do it that way. Again, with my trucks, we have multiple trucks. They're profit centers. Somebody else pays for those. And then we're really big. The home support team partners, it really helped us. Once we established our VIP program, which was really great. We also have an online discount center that they get access to with that saves them $5,300 a year. So it's another value add. Then we added our home support team, and then we added our next level, which is our corporate partners. And that's just more of a way of growing our sphere and a way of service as well, because we're helping those mid to large size companies in their HR departments attract and retain good talent. And so we added that into our lead gen, which has had a huge amount of monetization for us in the form of commissions. But it's something I don't think agents really do. They don't leverage those companies within their market, because we know the best way to build a business is to find a problem and then solve it, right? Well, we know HR, if they're a mid-sized company, if they're trying to bring in good talent, the HR and the recruiters are taking care of the community tours. They're having to sell their city. They're having to help get the employee integrated into the city, because they know that an unproductive employee is going to cost them a lot of money. So they have to get the whole family integrated in. Well, we go in and take that off the recruiters and HR's plates. So we offer, and we sell Sioux Falls, they sell the city, we take care of all of that. And then we also, because we have that bundled up employee benefit package, we offer that to their existing employees, and we come in and give them tons of value to their existing talent that they have on staff, so that we get, face time in front of them. They go into our nurture sequence. Again, we become the obvious choice when it comes to somebody who has a life change because of the amount of value authentically we're bringing to their lives. And so that's been one of my, home support team is my biggest monetization. And then I have all the other ones around it.
Okay. And so let's talk about your systems. So are these written systems? Do you use a certain program to kind of checklist program? I don't know, whatever it might be, software, platform, or, tell me a little bit about how you built them and how you then execute them.
So the software we built, we did have that built for our lifetime home support software. So that's where our clients can go to check out all the equipment. They get access to the online discount center on there. They have access to our home support team partners on there. They can quickly get to our VIP Facebook page, where we have some things on there. But as far as systemizations, that's one of my superpowers. And I have a killer director of operations too, she's a systems girl, obviously. But the majority, like the tech stack we use for the majority of this is really mondays.com. And we have pretty high level systems that live in there that are automated to the nines on what we can do. I'm a big believer in making your business SaaS, systemizing it, automating it, and delegating or deleting processes. But that's going to be our biggest tech stack we use for our home support team and our corporate partners, the checklists and the sign-ins and all that. And then
that's interesting.
And then we take it over. Then it goes into our CRM, of course, into the nurture sequence from that.
Yeah, I've used Monday before, so I am familiar with it. That's interesting.
Trello.
Okay.
Yeah, same thing. It's like Trello, but it's a beast. And what you can do, we use it at a pretty high level, but I'm sure we haven't even touched it to what it can do. There's so many functionalities, but we use it for quite a few things. We use it for our VA tracking too. We can check and see when our, the time amount that they're spending on each task within it. So we've systemized the heck out of that tech stack.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I have only used it at a very basic level, so I do not know really what it's capable of doing. So that's interesting. And so you do emphasize kind of the importance of personal branding, and it's something that you said, you brand everything. So tell me a little bit about how, what's the magic behind that to really make your brand magnetic and get people in and excited about working with you?
Well, I think that being omnipresent is a big deal, where people, it's that frequency illusion where people are thinking they see you everywhere. So you can't just put all your eggs in one basket and just like go all in on digital, all in on just, one thing. You have to have a pretty good proportionate amount of marketing in different platforms. And that's one thing we offer up our home support team partners, like a 30,000 level of what we offer them in that program, because we're marketers by trade, right? That's one of our jobs is to market. We market listings, we market ourselves, but we show them how to have their brand be in all these different places. Just allows the consumer to think that they're everywhere. And so brand awareness has always been a really big thing with me. I used to always say it was a joke back in the day. Like every time they'd hand me any marketing piece, I'm like, my logo needs to be bigger. My logo needs to be bigger. Like always, like that's who I am. And my brand is literally a part of my soul. It's everywhere. And back in the day, I used to brand my kid. He had every piece of clothes he had on. All of our cars were branded. You name it, branded.
That's interesting.
We had my husband and I for a very long time drove matching white Tahoes that were both branded, and it looked exactly alike. And then I sold one to my assistant, my DOO now. She had one, so we had 3 white Tahoes in a town of like under 200,000 running around. So they thought I was everywhere because they didn't know the difference between one or the other.
Yeah. So. I see that car everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, I want to take it a little high level right now. Yeah. And, the industry has gone through quite a few changes recently in just the procedures, the way things are working, but also with the market, low inventory and that. So what trends are you noticing in the industry, or what do you think is shaping the future of real estate right now?
Well, I think this wrinkle in time is really the time to triple down on your service model It just is. Like I mentioned earlier, the reason one of the reasons we're in a situation our industry is in is that there was just that perceived lack of value. And if, like in 2014, when I was looking through and just really soul searching on what was I doing, like what was I doing that was different than anybody else in my market, and I came up with like, well, I'm the local expert at connecting buyers and sellers. Well, yeah, that's my job. I better be. And that's what everybody else was doing. It was table stakes. It was me doing nothing more than what our actual description of being a real estate agent was. And so I think that agents truly and should be doing is really tripling down on their service model. What are they doing for their clients outside of the transaction? What are their levels of care for their clients for their whole human journey, not just the transaction part? And I just think that shifting from being transactional to transformational is going to allow those who do that are going to be the ones who are going to excel at a high level in our industry going forward. They're going to be the ones that clients are going to naturally, I think, energy wise, come towards, knowing that they can get so much more than just having a contract signed, doors opened, and sitting at a closing table.
Yeah, I think you called them servepreneurs.
Servepreneurs, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
My goal is that, think about it, if our industry was full of servepreneurs instead of entrepreneurs, we wouldn't be in this situation.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to end with just kind of your final advice to real estate agents or leaders and brokers who really want to take advantage of this market to grow. What's your kind of final piece of advice?
I would look and see, you really look at your vision and cores and core values and see who are you attracting as not only clients, but who are you attracting as your team members? Because the smart thing to do is to build a big business, you have to build the people to help build a big business, but are they in line with what you're trying to do in this wrinkle of time? Because in this wrinkle of time, there is some major opportunity. It is separation season for the people who are ready to do the work for the right reason and really thinking about it from an authentic way on how you can grow this. And another big passion of mine, I mean, again, my vision is to build big, juicy legacies for everybody. But one thing I was never taught was, how do I do that so I can build a healthy exit strategy? And a lot of entrepreneurs don't ever think about that part of their business. Like 80% of small businesses have zero exit strategy. So if you are going to build a system-centric, relationship-based business, it's worth about 50 to 100% more than one that's not. And so thinking about that and how, even if you're just in the business, it's not too early to start thinking about what does your exit strategy look like and what are you building and why, especially at the time of year we're in right now too. How beautiful is that? Everything, the wrinkle in time in our industry. And right now, like now's the time to really change your business model for the better to elevate that experience.
Well, thank you so much for joining RealTrending.
Yes.
I think you gave our audience a lot to think about and a lot of inspiration. So I really appreciate that.
My honor. Thanks so much for having me.